Here's an article to show you how stupid it gets when you get all these laws and rules and regulations. And it's coming here. This article is from the Daily Record. Motorist receives a £50 on the spot fine. And they fine you on the spot there. And you've got to pay up on the spot. That's just called extortion, isn't it? Highway robbery. When the guy with a gun stops you and says, hey, you can't travel unless you pay me this. Well, that's exactly what. We've got to stop and look and see what the actual events are. What are you seeing? Extortion is extortion. A heavy is a heavy. Whether you want to call him a policeman or not, it's a heavy. So a motorist received £50 fine for blowing his nose in a stationary car. I'm not kidding you. This is how dumb it is there. Folk are petrified now to go outside. January the 28th, a businessman has been fined by cops for blowing his nose in a car. The father of two, Michael Mancini, pulled out a tissue while he was stuck in stationary traffic with his handbrake on. Over there, you've got to make sure you go by every single rule. You've got to have the handbrake on if you're driving a standard vehicle. And he had it on. So he wasn't going anywhere. He was stuck in traffic. All the traffic was stuck there. But he was given a £60 fixed penalty notice for not being in control of his vehicle, because he took a hand off to blow his nose, The cop who handed out the ticket was PC Stuart Gray, dubbed PC Shiny Buttons for his zealous approach to the job. He was exposed last year after he issued a £50 fixed penalty to a man, it's a pensioner, I read it at the time, who accidentally dropped a £10 note, some money, in the street from his pocket. When he was putting a receipt in it, he dropped his £10 note. So this prune, this idiot, Shiny Buttons here, gave him a littering fine for dropping a £10 note. I think it was £50 fine for a £10 note. Last night, Michael, 39, who's never been in trouble with police, said, I was in total shock. I was stuck in traffic with a handbrake on and my nose was running. It's beyond a disgrace. Well, it's beyond ludicrous. And that's what I mean, if you want to change a system, you've got to look at everything that's wrong with it, and generally it's pretty well everything. And you can't fix a system like that. I've said before, if you wanted to get back, or at least back just a time when police obeyed the citizenry and called you sir and all the rest of it, and went through a formal set of rules when they negotiated with you on anything, you'd have to disband the entire police forces of the US, Canada, Britain and elsewhere, because we don't have policemen anymore. We don't have them. You have to fire the whole lot of them and start from scratch. And you would have to give them sensitivity courses in dealing with the public. And you've got to stop putting out all these movies where they show the cops are the heroes as they smash through doors with flak jackets on and Darth Vader masks on and all that stuff and machine guns. That's got to go. Because this is hell. And people are terrified, and this is what you end up with. These pinhead bullies who've got authority to back them. That's got to be done away with altogether. Altogether. Now, I know that the special forces, now I've talked to different ones in special forces, and what they teach them is basic medicine, in the field medicine, and very basic surgery, stuff like that. But I know what they used to do was to put them into a field where sheep were, and they'd machine gun a whole bunch of the sheep with their submachine guns, and then they'd have to go in and try and save the ones that weren't dead by extracting the bullets and doing what they call field dressings and that kind of stuff. That's how you also desensitize people from any semblance of normal behavior, as far as I'm concerned. But that's what they do with them. This article here is from the Telegraph. Live pigs blown up in government terrorism experiments. Live pigs are being blown up. Who hates pigs? What's wrong with the pig? It's quite a nice creature. Live pigs are being blown up as part of a series of government terrorism experiments at Porton Down, the government's secret military research laboratory. 24th of January. It says here, 18 pigs wrapped in protective Kevlar blankets were blasted in a bid to help scientists understand more about the effects of bomb blasts on victims. Do you think they don't have enough victims by now? How long have we been blasting people to pieces? You ever think about it? I mean, there's people who read this and they'll probably take the plausible, well, I guess they're got to do. Like, how long have we been blowing people to pieces? They had to do it with pigs. How many troops wear Kevlar and have got blown up over donkey's years? And a donkey's year is an awful long time. It says the animals were placed less than 3 yards from an explosive. Before being blown up, tubes were inserted into their blood vessels and bladders, and their spleens were removed. A wire was also put into a major abdominal blood vessel to ensure the vessel became lacerated, that's shredded to pieces, in the explosion. The Kevlar blankets were used to protect the animals from minor bomb debris, and the animals were anesthetized throughout. Well, that's kinder, isn't it? Scientists wanted to find out how long the animals survived when more than a third of their blood had drained from their bodies. They've got a billion ways to spend the tax money, don't they? Medics hope the experiments will help British soldiers in Afghanistan as well as casualties of terror attacks like the July 2005 bombing of the London Underground and a double-decker bus. In particular, these results should help them understand how to control hemorrhaging in bomb blast victims. We had world wars and everything, world wars, and we've had everything you can imagine, but no, they're going to blow up pigs. Jobs for the boys, I guess that's for the new scientists that are coming in, the relatives of the old ones, they really breed all right, and they're going to find jobs for them and something to do. And I guess pork is cheap right now too. He says, talking to the Sunday Times, he said, these are revolting and unnecessary experiments. Sadly, we are too familiar with the effects of terrorism. It's perfectly possible to find out things we don't know without blowing up pigs to find out. A spokeswoman for Porton Downs, that's the public relations, that's your perception manager, to alter perception. And the professionals are trained in this. Said anecdotally, there was already evidence that the research was helping to save lives. Already evidence. It was helping to save lives. Maybe they stopped eating pork. She said, this work is part of our broad combat casualty care program. Anecdotally, we are seeing evidence of people surviving because of this work. Oh, dear. They could rationalize anything. Anything at all. Also says at the very bottom, no pigs survived the experiments. It really does make you wonder, doesn't it?